welcome to Monday night reading sprints, just to completely confuse you because I wasn't here last week, I was on holiday. So we've got a few extra hours to use, and my lovely friends Dawn and Kasia were willing, despite the high temperatures where we all are, willing to come on and do some sprinting together. So we may look, in my case, I can't speak for the two of you, you look lovely, but I may be quite sweaty. My hair is enormous. My hair doesn't do well. Look at all this hair. Humidity. Yeah, we're here ready to do some writing, reading, and all sorts of things. So thank you two for joining us. I think drinks will definitely be a theme of the evening.
Look at the size of this.
Wow.
Liters.
What's in there? That looks good.
It's Vimto.
Nice. Oh, I love Vimto. Yay! Well, then I got a few messages that said they missed the sprints. Thank you. My holiday was absolutely lovely. I'm sorry I just talked to Kasia and Dawn's ears off because I'm still not quite down from the Disney buzz. It was lovely. Taking a 3-year-old to Disney who loves Disney is like magic. He loved it. We loved it. And I got to go on Phantom Manor, which I think feeds my dark soul. When I go on that ride, I'm like, it is everything. Everything I love. It's even got a Wild West town bit at the end now, like a haunted Wild West. It's just brilliant. So yeah, I feel like I got a little bit of my own time, very tiny bit, and then lots of lovely things. Mickey was on good form. All of the Disney characters were so good with the young children. They were just great. They all had a little bit that they did with them, played peekaboo or got them to pretend, Pluto got him to pretend to be a dog and stuff like that. It was really cute. I'm back. I got back last week. I'm really sorry. Nobody knew that it was Thursday last week because I didn't tweet about sprints. Apparently it was a problem. So I'm here. I'm here to reset. Although it is Monday, don't believe it's Thursday just because we're here. Hello. Hello. Oh, Dreamlight Valley. Have either of you two played that? That's the newish Disney game, I think, is it?
No, I'm not playing.
I'm very tempted by that. It sounds really cute. That sounds good. Let's get some hitchhikers. Oh, I'm sorry you're feeling under the weather. I've heard really good things about Yellowface. Have you two, either of you got it on your radar or read it?
I haven't read it, but it's on my radar.
How about you, Kasia? Is it something that you would like, do you think?
I don't know. It's one of those books that I just don't know. I think it happened the same thing with The House at the End of Needless Street, because it's nobody's really telling you what it's about, because that's how you're supposed to go into it. So I'm like, will I like this or not? It's so I don't know. And I have so many other things that I want to read in summer that it's not yet on the top of my list, but maybe after more people read it and tell me it's for me without telling me what's about.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll try and read it soon and I will categorize it for you, because I'm not sure, is it a thriller? I know that it's real talk about publishing is all that I've heard about it, which is why I wanted to read it.
I think it is. Doesn't it involve, I thought it involved a murder, but maybe that's because I think everything involves a murder. I will have to pay attention to Book Talk and see what they say.
Weirdly, I've seen it a lot, but like you said, Kasia, everybody said it's brilliant, read it, it's about publishing, but I don't know what it's about still. One thing. Oh, Sharon's got the right idea. Nice, Marco.
Nice.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back. Yes, you see. Right, can you tell us anything about it, Sharon, without spoilers? What is it? Ooh, what is Stepping Up? That sounds interesting. For some reason, when you said Stepping Up, I thought Step Up, Channing Tatum dance film. So I'm sure it's not that. It is a thriller. Dark and cynical. That sounds like our kind of thing, the three of us. I think we could get behind that. Speaking of dark and cynical, I've left it upstairs. I am reading, what's it called? Oh my God, This Delicious Death. Have either of you read that or come across it?
Yes, I read it last month.
Oh, what did you think of it?
Yes. Or this month, I don't know. I think this month. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. There was less horror than I anticipated, which is story of my life. It's I always need more, but it's just me personally. But I thought it was a lot of fun because it's an interesting take on what could possibly happen, if only half of the population need to feed on human meat and the other half not. So it's quite interesting to see what would happen.
Is it a post-apocalyptic?
Yeah, it's like an event, isn't it? I can't remember exactly what.
Yeah, there's a virus that spreads, and basically it only affects specific people, and they turn into kind of ghouls. That's how they name them in the book. And so the government develops a plan to contain them at the beginning and everything. And families are split because maybe their kids are, but they are not, because it only affects half of the population. So it's an interesting take.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It reminds me of The Lost Girls by Sonia Hartle that we read for the Wire Book Club a couple of months back, which is sort of a real take on what it's like to be a vampire. Like the fact that if you're a vampire teenager, you can't really get a job because you don't have any job history, and you technically died in the 80s, so you've still got your 80s hair. Yeah, it's a bit like that kind of thing. It's quite kind of dark humour meets, like Kasia said, a little bit of horror. There's like moments of gore where you go, oh, that's a lot of gore, and then it kind of moves on really quickly. So you get
so funny. You and I are like well into the vampire thing at the moment. Like, I think both of us are separately like really deep into the vampire thing.
Honestly, yeah, for various reasons. Yes, there's lots of vampire fiction being consumed at both ends of this computer. Yeah, I'm loving it. Like, what is it about? And even things that are vampire peripheral, like I'm craving, like the flesh eating that was close enough to vampires where I wanted it, and werewolves and stuff. I'm wanting werewolf books as well. Like, I definitely like the paranormal is definitely having a moment for me. So that's your stepping up. Oh. Okay, that sounds a little bit like, what's that Josh Duhamel film? Life Unexpected, is it? Where he ends up like raising a child with Katherine Hagel, who he really doesn't like, but they're like mutual friends pass away, and they end up looking after a child. It sounds like that kind of thing. But yeah, we're looking for a kind of sad but good contemporary. That sounds interesting. Oh, awesome! It does look like an excellent list of books. That's like a nice problem to have, Charlie, because Charlie is one of the judges of the Wire Book Prize this year. Go,
so
Charlie!
Exciting.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, Charlie just says, "This is the book that I'm going to nominate. I'm just going to announce it now on the internet." Can you tell us how it works? I don't know whether you're allowed to talk about this, Charlie, but I'm always interested with book prizes. How does it work? Do you rate the books, or do you choose one that you say should be the winner? Like, are you allowed to give us any little insight into that? Because you always see stuff being nominated, don't you? But you don't know about the behind the scenes. So feel free to ignore that question if you're not allowed to answer it. So what are you two planning to do during the sprints? Lots of people in the comments have let us know, but how about you, Kasia? Do you have specific reading plans?
Yeah, I have 2 books left to read this month. So I started reading one last night, but I fell asleep. So let's continue that. It's called The Mystery of Black Hollow Lane by Julia Noble. It's a middle grade kind of horror book. And I think it's going to be maybe fantasy horror. I'm not sure. It's a little girl that, 12-year-old, I think, that the father is missing. The mother is a really bad mother. She's only focused on work. So she decides, I cannot take care of my kid. I'm going to send her to a boarding school in England, so I don't have to take care of her. But then she receives a mysterious letter from her father telling her about some certain artifacts and things, and she's trying to solve the mystery of where her father is and stuff. And it's also in this boarding school in England, so I'm excited to see. And yeah, it's a middle grade, so it's gonna be a little bit low on the horror aspect, but yeah, that's for the first print.
Excellent. You can update us on that one because that sounds really good. How about you, Dawn? Are you on a reading or writing stretch?
I might do a bit of both. I'm going to start with writing. I've got some edits for Blood on the Wind to do, and I've got some scenes to elongate. So I'll be looking over at I put up all my index cards like on my wall and color coordinated, and it's beautiful.
I saw the picture of it.
To do the work.
Yeah.
But when I break, I might listen to the audiobook I'm listening to, which is A Little Life, which is like huge, massive, and I'm almost done with it. So I might just do a bit of listening in a break.
Is it devastating? I've heard that it's devastating, so I didn't want to read it.
Honestly, it's devastating until a point, and then it becomes so far-fetched it just almost becomes funny.
Okay.
And like if you know, but I haven't reached the point where, you know, on TikTok, like they film themselves reading from a certain point, they're all like sobbing. I haven't reached that point, I don't think. So at the moment, it's kind of funny to me, and I feel horrible for saying that.
Like,
it's a bit far-fetched, I'd say.
Yeah, It's subjective,
Right.
isn't it? Because if it's too far-fetched to you, it might not tap into that like place that
I've
will really
cried
get you.
though. I have cried with this book, but after a while, the same thing happens to this person with almost everybody he meets. And eventually you just think not everyone in the world is this particular kind of monster. So, but I'm actually like, I love the way it's written. It's a bit like repetitive, but yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Interesting. Yeah, it's one of those. Have you read it, Kasha, or is it on your list of things? Because I've kind of everything I hear about it, I'm a bit like, I don't know.
I was gonna read it at some point, but I don't know if it's exactly my cup of tea. But then I saw a video from Olivia's Catastrophe talking about it and saying how it was bad representation for the character on the wheelchair and a lot of stuff because her sister is in a wheelchair, so she knows a lot about representation in that regard. And so I was like, yeah, maybe not, because it's so big. And if I go into it and I realize I'm not enjoying it and I'm already like halfway through,
Yeah.
I feel like I might just waste my time a little bit. I don't know, because it's not exactly my type of book that I would gravitate towards anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I sort of went in not knowing anything about it except people were saying it was really sad. But what I like about it is that it's a book about friendship, at least in the beginning. And then that changes, and that's when you kind of lose me because it promises something and then it doesn't deliver. But we'll see. I've got maybe like 200 pages left, so I'm like 600 pages through. So we'll see.
I do think sometimes it's worth reading books that so many people are obsessed with and just trying. I do it from like the writer's perspective as much as the reader one sometimes. Like, what is it about this thing? Like, what has this captured? Like, can I get in on this? Like, can you learn anything from it as a writer? Do you think is it like that, Dawn? Like, do you think you could pick up anything from it, or is it just one of those things that's gone viral and it's just, you know?
No, I think maybe it's well written, and I think that people who are reading it without the hype understand it and get it, but for me it doesn't deliver so far what it promised in the beginning, and so I'm like, okay, I must make sure I mustn't do that. I don't know about the representation of the disabled character. It's a progression, so like he gets worse and worse and worse, and there are mentions of technical details, so I can sense that it's been researched, but I obviously don't have experience with this, so I don't know. I suppose I will decide definitively when I get to the end. And when I've crossed that point where people are like sobbing into their phones while reading it.
Let's hope you don't reach that point live and you're just like all of a sudden God bursts into tears on screen.
But yeah, it's also, I would say, check trigger warnings before you go in, because I should have done that and I didn't. So I like it's triggering very, very much for certain things. Okay,
noted. I'm gonna look into it and make some decisions because I'm not sure. Oh, werewolf, you say? I mean, I don't know. Have either you ever ordered the Abominable Book Club? I feel like it comes up a lot on my feed, and I go, "Oh, I want that," but I've never kind of.
Yeah, I want to try. There was like a horror book theme box from the UK. The problem is I pay the same for the books and for shipping. So I always end up paying like, instead of, let's say, 30 quid, then 60. And I'm like, is it worth it?
Yeah.
You know, because it's a lot. And then it might end up in customs here. And, you know, it's always a problematic, especially if shipping is already expensive. And, you know, so I'm like, is it really worth it?
I was going to say,
like, I really want the Nightworms box, but like shipping was 75 quid.
Yeah, exactly.
No. Yeah,
like,
this can't put me off. Yeah, and I think book boxes, like you pay £25-30, and ultimately what you wanted was the book, and you're like, could I just order the book maybe? But I think that some book boxes, like Charlie's, where's Charlie? Paper Orange, like it's an affordable book box. I think that's when it's really worth it, and Charlie puts loads of great stuff in. I think the ones that are like 35, 40, and like you said, with the shipping on top, I don't know. I've got to the point where I've just like, I haven't been getting any apart from Charlie's sometimes. Yes, that would be interesting to know. I'd love to see a little bit of insight into that. God Scars. I don't know what that is. Is that familiar to anybody? It sounds Terry Pratchett. I don't know why. Those exclamation marks make me think of Terry Pratchett, but
yeah, I think Sharon confirms.
Sorry, I'm jumping around. Yes. How did I know that from a couple of exclamation marks? I don't know what you said that was funny, Dawn, but
I don't know.
I'm
just
sure
a
you were.
funny person.
Oh, what? So
A Little Life
yes.
by who's the author? It's gone out of my head now, but yeah, that really, really big one. The cover has got the guy crying on it, or big blocky letters. Is it classed as literary fiction or
I
just
think,
contemporary?
Yeah, it's been described to me as literary, I think. But yeah, I'd like you said about the other books we've discussed. I think certain books, like, nobody really talks about what they're about, like Yellowface. Like, you kind of hear everybody's read it, but nobody has given you like a kind of succinct, this is what it's about.
Yeah.
I think it might be a good time. I think we've got through the comments. I don't even know whether I just read your story. Sorry, I just brought it up and put it down again. I'm very tired and very hot. So if today my manners or my coherence are kind of low level, it's because I'm feeling hot and grumpy. So I hope I think we're all having good days. We're feeling very hot generally, but maybe people in the comments might be somewhere cooler. This was the one you were reading. Was this one you were reading the other day, Corey? It's on really interesting. If you could remind us what it's about. I remember when you were talking. I think it was you was talking about it. It sounded interesting. Same here. I'm seeing it everywhere. Have not read it, and it's fantasy, so I kind of went, I'm not sure if either of you two read it.
No, but I read an analysis, a spoiler-free one, of why it works, and now I'm interested from a craft perspective.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Devil's Pocketbook. Who's the author? Because I'm trying to add it to my wish list.
Okay.
The title intrigued me.
Okay, Corey, if you can give us the details, that would be really cool.
Is it Ross Jeffrey?
Oh. Is it the hot weather that's like causing trouble again? That's really not fair. Yes, gods. Yes, I mean,
me too.
I sometimes enjoy it, but I find it really tiring. I'm sorry, I'm clicking through. I don't know whether this comment just come up a couple of times. Oh no. Just when we think COVID's gone quiet, it like rears its head again. Okay, everyone, let's go to sprints and let us know in the comments what you're reading or getting up to. I don't think did I say what I was doing? I can't remember. No. I'm writing tonight. I'm going to write a thing that I'm working on. I'm editing it, and I'm doing what you said, Dawn. I think some of my scenes are underdeveloped, so I'm going through and developing. Do you tend to write like that? Do you sometimes not? Because I find sometimes I don't fully know what I want a scene to be. It ends up feeling a bit unfinished, and then I go back and finish it on the edit. Is that something?
I'm so bad. I thought I'd written a bunch of these scenes, and I'm busy reading it like, yeah, this is good, and then I reach square brackets that says finished scene.
Oh no.
So like, thanks, past me.
Square brackets.
I must have just run out of steam.
I tend to put stuff in the comments, like comment for future self, like go back to the comment and see this scene. Like I wrote one last night, which is just a placeholder. I know it needs a lot more doing to it, so I just wrote, this isn't very good, make it better next time. I don't specifically know what's wrong with it, but I just know it's not what it needs to be yet.
We're so helpful, our past selves.
Yeah, I know, just creating problems. So it is Ross Jeffrey. I was you, Ace. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the second one just as much. Yeah, so I hope that sounds like your kind of thing, Dawn. It sounded really good. I think I've told you about this, Charlie. If I haven't, I'll message you. I think I've told Kasha and Dawn. Sorry, everyone. It's one of those things. I don't know about you, Dawn, but this isn't a thing that I'm not allowed to talk about, but I don't like talking about things until they're more certain. Like, I almost feel like I jinx myself. Like, until I've got a deal that I'm explicitly allowed to talk about.
And even then, it's like, you don't talk about it until it's like officially announced.
Yeah. Yeah. So this isn't under contract or anything. It's just a thing. Yeah. But I just don't want to, like, I could say what it is, but I just don't want to, because I feel like then people
it's like, it takes away the magic of it, you know, when it's just your private thing. It's the thing I know about, though, right? That's why I feel okay saying it.
Yeah, it's the thing where you've got a slightly similar thing.
Oh, yeah. Plus, also, Blood on the Wind. I shouldn't say it because then I'll just completely spoil your thing. Never mind.
Yeah, please. Don't spoil that for me. I want to go in. And can I just say, the title is like, I loved Teeth in the Mist and Blood on the Wind. Like, it goes so well as a title, and it's such a good title on its own. Like, did you come up with it? Or was that?
I've got there's three, and I've got the titles for all three, and I've got this notebook of all the edits, right? And I'd written the title "Blood on the Wind" on the front, spilled my tea, and I'd been using this, and I'd wanted to post, and I think I even did post to Instagram like a year ago, and I had to quickly delete it because I forgot I'd written the title on the notebook.
I did that with Mina and the Slayers. I was really proud of myself. I like hand wrote it in the Mina font, like thinking I was all clever, and then went,
so good.
"Oh crap, I can't show anyone this." And yeah, same with the cult. Like literally from in 2018, I had a meeting with my agent where I told what I wanted the other two books to be, and it didn't have like the title, but it had the cult thing to it. And as soon as she came up with the Mina and the structure, I was like, "Cult, got it."
Yeah.
So I've known what this book is called since like 2019, and not been allowed to say. So
yeah, it's crazy. It happens.
Yeah, and yeah, it's not spoiling it. It's easier to not talk about it just because, yeah.
Yes.
Kitty. Oh, I hope you are too, Sharon. Let me see if I can just. Okay, so we are going to go to sprint. I got slightly distracted, sorry, because I forgot that I didn't tell you all what I was doing. So let's go and do a 40-minute sprint. And for people who haven't been on before, we usually do 40 minutes, have a chat, 40 minutes, chat 30 minutes. If either of you two want to duck out at any point because it gets late, particularly for you, Kasha, that's absolutely fine. I'm happy to round this thing off by myself if needed. And then, yeah, so we'll catch up in 40 and see how we've all got on.
Perfect.
Hello. Sorry for Kitty Major John. Did it get you, Dawn? Oh, I think you're still muted.
Yeah, it got me.
Sorry.
Oh, especially since I'm writing/editing a scene in a graveyard.
Oh no, I've just got to a creepy bit, noticed the time and went, okay, I'm not going to start that because the cat's going to get me. Oh, I really want to edit this bit now. I'm gonna try and concentrate because when you're like in something and you're like, I want to keep going now. I just got to the good stuff.
Yeah.
Was that going well?
Which me?
Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, was your creepy stuff going well?
Yeah, it was. I reached another part, this time in the middle of a scene where I'd highlighted square brackets that said elongate. And I hadn't written like the bulk of the scene. So
that's
helpful.
a polite way of saying do better, future Dawn. Like I write things like
I can't be asked. You do
rubbish. Elongate sounds really elegant and like concise. I like it. I'll remember that one. How about you, Kasia? How did your middle grade go? What was it called again? Sorry.
The Mystery of Black Hollow Lane. Yes.
Yeah. How was it so far?
Yeah, I made it to page 82. So far, it's going a bit slow. I mean, it's slow in the sense that nothing major has happened yet. She's just getting to the boarding school, getting settled in. She's never been to a boarding school. She's in England. Basically, all the history that they teach in America is nothing like they teach in in England. So she needs to adjust. A lot of things to do, new people. So I'm kind of getting introduced to like the people that are there, the classes she's taking. She's going to a Latin society, but apparently there is another secret society. So I guess things are gonna start getting a little bit more interesting. And she will do some digging on the school history and stuff. Probably that's what I'm assuming. We shall see. But I mean, so far I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I want to see what happens next.
Nice. How many pages is the book? Without you accidentally reading last page.
301.
Okay, so that's interesting. You're nearly a third of the way through, but it kind of feels like it's just getting going.
Yeah, I mean, I guess sometimes, so it depends on the author. Sometimes, I guess some people like to go straight into action, and others let you kind of get used to the character, because then you can relate a little bit more to the character, and you care for them, and you've been going through things with them before shit hits the fan. So
yeah, I think I like a little bit of both. Like I kind of like things to get going fairly early, but I had some early feedback on the Mina books. Like one of my very early beta readers was like, murder on page 1, all the murder straight away. I was like, oh no, I don't want that. I want to know who somebody is before the horrible stuff starts happening, but I also don't want to wait 200 pages for it to happen. How about you, Dawn?
Yeah.
Are you kind of that in between sweet spot, or do you prefer one?
I'm
or the
all
other?
about the vibes. I'm totally about the vibes. I was thinking about how I conceive novels. It's rarely plot, very, very rarely. It's usually just an atmosphere or an aesthetic or a character. So I think I probably err on the side of slightly slower beginning. I like to get into the head of a character first.
I've realised recently that occasionally I'm reading a book that I think objectively is a good book, but I'm not quite clicking with it. And I think for me, I've realised that voice is really, really important. If something doesn't quite connect with a character's voice, it can have all the things in that I like. Like sometimes I'm reading a book and they're like, this should be my favourite book ever. But if something jars about the voice, and sometimes I don't even know what that thing is, I just read it and I don't like something about the voice.
Yeah.
It seems to offset me. I saw a TikToker today that said that since like the early 2000s, she's been reviewing books on vibes alone, and I was like, yeah, actually, you're right.
I should do that too. I can read a book with no plot, and lately I've been reading a lot of books with just very little plot, but just loads of vibes, and I'm cool with it. I like the writing itself.
Yeah,
I have a love affair with the language, so yeah, I'm very easy to please in terms of plot.
You do that very beautifully, though, Dawn. I think.
Oh, thank you.
Your books are in that place of horror that is really beautiful as well. Like when you're writing horror. Something grotesque and macabre, it's like still beautiful. Like the best, like, oh, this is gorgeous, but I kind of want to pull out my eyeballs so I don't have to read it anymore.
Oh, music to my ears. Beautiful carrion flowers that stink of rot. That's me.
Yeah. Yes. Honestly. I remember there was when I was reading articles about New Orleans when I was first writing one of the Mina books, it said something about beautiful decay, that New Orleans is like this beautifully decaying place, and I was like, oh, that's such a good book type. I think somebody had already used it. But yeah, it's just this thing about that, isn't it? Like crumbling graveyards and that kind of. In New Orleans, it's the musty aroma that is basically pee and marshmallow. You're welcome.
Yum. Street food with a hint of pee.
Yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, I think I've realised going on. I used to think that it was all about plot, but I think that there's a lot to be said for atmosphere. How about you, Kasha? I think that Dawn and I are on a similar page with that.
It depends, but I have a big problem if I cannot connect to the main character at all. Like if I cannot relate or if I don't like them at all. I mean, I'm not talking about morally gray or, those kind of narrators that you cannot trust and stuff like that. It's like some characters I just cannot connect with them, and then I have a problem getting into the story. So I think characters are important for me, maybe more than plot, because the plot can be more simple, but if I really love a character, then I'm more invested. But if a character just doesn't vibe with me, then I'm not so much into the rest of the story. So
no, so character is plot, really, because plot is what happens to the characters and what the characters make happen. So you kind of they're sort of they're not one or the other. You kind of need both. But I agree. I need to vibe with the character.
Yes, all very good points. And as I'm listening, I'm thinking, oh God, make sure I do all of the things in my writing, like feed his feedback immediately into the scene that I'm working on. Got it. I'm glad you're feeling positive. It's really difficult when you're not feeling great to kind of keep that positivity going. Oh my goodness. That sounds very exciting. I can see how that would be the case. I hope you're going to share pictures across all of your social media so that we can enjoy that too. Oh, you see, these are the right questions. Sharon knows the questions to ask. Give us the details.
Love kitties.
Yeah. Have I got more of this to look forward to? Like the more like I'm gonna dislike the heat. Oh
no.
Yeah.
Oh, cute.
Oh, orange cats. I wonder what kind you're gonna get. It's either like crazy or crazy affectionate.
I mean, that sounds perfect. Luna, Linus, and Salem. I mean,
oh, that's brilliant. Oh, I love the witchy vibes. Actually, here's a question for you guys. What is the name? You know how like different aesthetics have names, like cottage core and dark cottage core, whatever. What is the name for the vibe where it's like really witchy and sort of practical magic meets horror / herbs and tattoos? What is that? What is that aesthetic?
It's tricky, isn't it? Because I suppose it depends on where you place witchcraft. Like, because some people I see talk about like pagan and Wicca, and I think
could be a coven.
Yes, I think that witchy seems to be a thing that I see quite a lot. Like I was watching a video earlier, I got pulled into like this really long TikTok that's like witchy books. So yeah, I think that witchy seems to be a bit of a thing. It doesn't have a core-ness to it though. You know, like cottage core, and
it's sort of like on the folk horror vibe. But it's maybe it is like a folky dark cottage core that I'm just like I've been asking people what it's called. And just no one seems to really know.
So you can search for it and get recs and stuff. Yeah, it's
collecting
interesting,
the vibe.
Because like I read a horror anthology a while ago, that Lurking in the Dark, the one that I've got a story in, and it's like creatures, and I was like, oh, could you, depending on your viewpoint, like could you include witches in that? Like I think witches sit in an interesting place, don't they? Because depending on your belief system, like
depends on the type of witch. Is it like is it forest bog witch, in which case creatures fit nicely, it's very folk horror, or is it like pagan sort of crystal witch?
It just got me thinking like where you place witches in like because I love the writing and the paranormal thing. I was like, where would witches fit into that? I hope they do too. I feel like with cats, I've never had multiple cats myself, but it's interesting people I know with them. Like, how many do you have, Kasha?
I have 4.
Yeah. Do you find that like some of them get on and some of them completely ignore everyone, including humans, or
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, we've been quite lucky. I have two black boys that are the sweetest. Those are the ones that always want to cuddle. Then I have a pretty short hair baby girl that she likes to be by herself, but she cuddles with the black boys. And then I have Willow, which is a bitch. We call her the bitch. So we think it's Willow in her, like bad witch
oh yeah,
episodes. When she turns
Absolutely.
evil,
The
she
she's
goes
dark
to
got
the dark
Willow.
Willow.
side.
Yeah,
So that's her personality. So she hates everybody and everything.
Has she skinned anyone yet?
Not yet.
does she
But
bring you
she's always,
offerings of dead
yeah,
things?
we call her Snake because she's always like to everyone, like to
That's
everyone. But
amazing.
yeah,
She
she
would be
just
my favorite.
we just let her do her thing. She's also the oldest one, so we just let her be and do her thing, and yeah, she be unbothered.
She
But
sounds
the other
awesome.
three get along together. But it's really tricky when you bring a new cat and you already have maybe two or three, and they're also older. They're not kittens because territory, and smells, and it's tricky. It's not easy with cats to put them all together. It has a process.
Yeah.
Maybe Corey, the key is talk to Kasha about this. When you get to this point, you sound like like this could be a whole. Like, do you have a cat sideline? Could you like a YouTube line and how to incorporate cats into your life seamlessly?
No, it's like if you bring a new cat, it needs to be separated from the rest. They need to smell each other through the door.
Oh,
They need to be rewarded so that they associate the smell with something good. It's like
oh,
you swap beds so they smell each other before they see each other. It's like a whole psychological thing going on.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot. So you can get a lot of information in that. Maybe with kittens, I think it might be a bit easier to be
yeah.
accepted by a cat. But if you get adult cats and put them together with others, it's tricky. Yeah.
Animals are so fascinating. My friend has rabbits and guinea pigs, and they have like a similar thing of some of them hate being introduced to new animals. Some of them are fine with it. Like, they have strong personalities, don't they? Oh, sorry about the boring tasks, Annalise. Thank you
I
for joining
know.
us. I keep meaning to message you and saying, please come on, Wano. I think I've got a space on Thursday if you fancy coming on and chatting, because I don't really know about Annalise. I'm sorry I say it every time I see Annalise's name. Dawn, did you know Annalise's process is that she deletes her first drafts?
I've heard this. That's amazing to me.
So I
I've
feel like
accidentally deleted a first draft, but never on purpose.
no,
Horror.
God.
Oh God, it's terrible.
Oh, honestly, that actually makes my skin come out in like literally. I got goosebumps at the thought, like the
I
bad
know.
kind. I mean, I
Yeah,
really want to chat
that's
to Annalise
amazing.
anyway, but I want to grill her about this process because I'm just so fascinated by it that
Me
I
too.
do. I throw whole like I've got a scene in my current project, and I know I'm going to have to delete it. And I have a spreadsheet of like things that I'm going to have to do, and I've written next to it, I don't think this scene does anything, but I love it. And I'm like,
Oh, I
do I
hate it when that
just
happens.
delete it myself? Somebody's going to tell me to delete it at some point. Do I just like bite the book? And even that gives me anxiety. Like deleting a scene gives me
You
anxiety.
can keep it for extra features, like a
Mhm.
newsletter thing.
Yeah, possibly. I do need to do that. Oh God, on my list of things that I haven't done yet. Start a newsletter. Panic. Chaos. Yeah, I mean, if what are you doing, Annalise? If you want to just take on, Charlie's in the market for some. Hello, we're doing well, thank you. Despite the heat, we all seem to be quite kind of upbeat. Oh, Sharon, I feel like I like that for you. I don't know. I don't want to encourage or discourage you. Either way, talk to Corey and Kasha and they'll give you the real scope on what to do and whether you should go for it. Nice.
Fantastic.
Excellent. Two productive people. Brilliant. Oh, that's what did you say you were reading,
Wow.
Nicole? Were you on Yellowface? Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I've heard people, a lot of my friends who are in publishing, either on the publishing side or the writing side, have said like they need to talk to somebody about it. Like a few people said to me, when you read it, talk to me because they want to know like what my take on the publishing stuff is. Oh, that's on my list. I want to know what you think of that. I went a bit wild in the works a while ago and bought all the TikTok recommended books, and that was on there, and I proceeded to read none of them, and I mean none, like out of the 10 I bought.
I only buy the TikTok horror recs.
Oh, sometimes they suck me in. If I see any book enough, I get brainwashed. And like I do
I
like
just do.
occasional romance. So I buy the romance ones, but I read them so infrequently that they just stack up.
I just got a queer romance with zombies. It's called Something Hearts and Zombie Parts.
Oh,
I
is it
don't know.
Oh yeah.
Broken
And I'm
Heart.
like, I'll get
Yeah.
that one because it sounds like the perfect mix of a little bit of horror and some romance for me.
Yeah, that's a William Russell
LGBT,
one.
LGBT as well, I think.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah,
cool.
it's queer, yes.
Yeah. I did a summary for the Pride Post on UKYA Books Instagram today. And it was I think the first one. So yeah, I'm curious about that one too.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to have a look at that. I kind of was like, I'm gonna try and read some queer books this month, but then I was going through a really bad reading patch just because I've got so much writing to do. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
I'm writing a queer book, so I get away with it.
Yeah.
Also, A Little Life is queer, so I'm just on brand. So,
excellent.
Yeah,
Nice. Yeah, I haven't read that one yet because, well, I started it and then it seemed to be about parents and children. I was like, oh, I can't do this.
This is my life.
Read that one. Have you read that one, Kasha or Dawn?
Yeah.
I haven't, but I've got it.
I did a book review on that one. It's a lot about grief, but I mean the children are already older, so there's no kids' death.
But there's a mum that's been separated from her child, hasn't she? Like, hasn't a mum like to go and clear out the estate? She's not with her quite young child, and I was like, oh, I don't know that I can cope with. I know that isn't the focus of the book at all, but that's the bit.
No, yeah, the one of the basically it's two siblings that lose their parents in an accident, and they have to go to the house to kind of take care of signing all the documents and all that stuff. And she does have a daughter, but you don't really see her much, only some phone calls, and like it's not that much presence. It's not the focus exactly on that. So I don't know.
the phone call, one of the phone calls just ripped my heart out, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to read this book, and I just stopped. And it's probably just a me thing. I hope you're enjoying it, Stephen. Don't let me put you off. I have very specific things, as you probably know because you've watched these sprints, specific no-go areas that I just can't cope with. Oh, I haven't read any Bridgerton books or watched it. Have either of you?
I've watched the show.
I've watched it.
Yeah,
I binged both seasons. I haven't watched Queen Charlotte yet, though.
Yeah, I've binged that one too.
Is it good?
It's good, but I think for me, nothing has stopped the first season yet. Right. Like that first season just hit differently, It's like,
yeah.
I was obsessed.
I canceled my Netflix, so.
Oh.
I was using my mum's Netflix, and then they became very strict about it. So now I don't have Netflix.
Yeah,
you have to sign up.
I've just lost mine as well, and I need to do. Peppa Pig is on Netflix, so I'm like, I think I need to.
An essential.
Invest in Netflix. Yeah, at the moment we get about half an hour of adult TV time a day after I finish writing and Kev's finished doing various things, mainly jobs for me. Sorry, Kev. I'm working on my YouTube and stuff. So we get like half an hour of quality TV time. So I haven't got to Bridgerton yet because Kev doesn't really watch that kind of thing. Like we tend to just watch stuff that we can watch together. So watching Yellow Jackets at the minute, and I'm really enjoying that.
Oh, where are you? How far?
Beginning of season 2.
Okay. Oh, season 2 is amazing.
So I don't want to say anything for people who haven't watched it, but they've made some life choices that could keep them alive, but at great costs to their humanity.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I'm so keen for season 3. I can't wait.
It's done very well. It's meant to be like they've got an arc for about 5 seasons, I think. So it's one of those that seems like they've actually got a trajectory, thank goodness, because I get so invested in series and then it's like, oh no, like Lost, they just lose their way.
When you watch the final episode, tell me what you think.
Okay, I will do. I'm excited. Yes, I feel
yes, Charlie, you and me are on the same page.
Like, I didn't realize until I read Legends and Lattes, and I was like, they literally just make cinnamon buns and like invent coffee and stuff. And I was like, this is genius. Like, the most peril is like, there's mild peril, isn't there? And I can cope with that. Like, that's all good. Nicole, which show? Oh, Bridgerton. Yeah, got it. The Bridgerton books. Yeah, I can't advise you on that. Top most hated characters. How will I feel about it? Oh, sorry, Annalise. This is the problems of technology, isn't it? Oh, Witchcore.
Okay,
that sounds really good. Thank you. You've just saved the day there. That sounds really, really convincing. Interesting. I don't know which I need to do now. Maybe I need to read them. Mystical horror, that's good too, Sharon. Like that could be quite broad.
Where's my pencil? I need to write these down. Witchcore and mystical horror.
Oh, Stop making cats sound so appealing, everyone. I can't cope with a cat on top of a 3-year-old. Okay, interesting how the last two people have said that they have female cats that are temperamental, and you said that too, Kasha.
Yeah, I've only had experiences with females. I mean, the one that I have now, she's the sweetest thing. She doesn't look for fights. But the other two females that we'd had in this house, they were both bitches. Like,
Oh,
really
Mine
would
is
rip
too.
each other's eyes out and like scream and like,
Mhm.
yeah. So boys are more. They have their moments where they have what I call their munchies, where they run around like they're on drugs, and you don't know what's going on.
I'm
But for
sorry.
the most part, they're chill.
I just accidentally clicked on the next comment and then laughed. I was laughing at you. I was
I
like,
know, I was
at least
just
the cats
Pickle
got
pants.
pickle pants. That's so
Mr. Pickle
cute.
Pants.
We need an
Oh, I love that
explanation.
so much.
Yeah, I know. I feel like that came from somewhere, Annalise. We need
Please put Mr. Pickle Pants in a book, please.
please. And make it a talking cat or something too. Yeah,
Me neither.
yeah, sometimes it crosses over, but sometimes, yeah, I'm easily sold. Yeah, sorry, Stephen, don't let me put you off. I swear, loads of people love it. I'm just like, children in grief, can't do it.
Kasha, did you read that book talk horror that's been going around called Mary? It's got a woman in a bathtub.
Not yet, but I've been. Everybody tells me I need to read it, and it's been sitting on my Amazon card for the past year, like basically
Yeah.
since it came out.
I can't find it. Like, it's out of stock everywhere. Yeah.
Oh no,
And
I
I
think
also
they're
had it in
still
my cart and I
available.
didn't. Oh, I
Yeah.
need to check again because.
Yeah, she's coming out with a new book really soon, and I'm like, damn, I need to read the other one first. I will check if
Yeah.
it's still available. Maybe not anymore. Damn it.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few HorrorTubers talk about it and said that it's really dark and really good. But yeah, I haven't looked into it. I was scared it might be too dark for me. Yes, I feel like I can safely say I'm not a big fantasy reader. Legends of Artes is one of my favourite fantasies I've read ever. I just really liked it. I feel like fantasy readers and non-fantasy readers would enjoy it. I just want to say one thing before the sprint. I've just marked where we've got up to in the comments. I've just noticed my computer battery said it's low, which is making me nervous. I need to just plug my computer in a sec. But I've just been thinking about the YA book club for next month. I'm thinking of doing summer books, but like with the typical kind of us vibe of like the horror, thriller, mystery side of summer. So if anyone can think of any of those to add to my list, so far I've got Lord of the Fly Fest by Goldie Moldovsky, and what was the other one I thought of? Oh, In Nightfall by Suzanne Young, the Lost Boys retelling, but I need to check how widely available that is because I know it's US published.
So yes, one of Kat's books is a summer horror, isn't it? Is it Harrow Lake that's the summer one, or is it Wicked Little Deeds?
Yeah.
One of the two, either Harrow Lake or Wicked Little Deeds.
Okay.
One of them is set in summer.
I'll check. So let's have a look. Kat's books. I'm just writing these down. So yeah, so if anybody, if the two of you or if anyone in the comments can.
How about Savage Island? I don't know if it's in summer, but it could be a good choice for a summer book.
Yeah, it's funny. I did a recommendations video, and quite a few of the books I realized that because I did a YouTube one, that weren't actually set in summer, but I was like, but they make me feel like summer, even though they're not. And Savage Island was one. I don't think I ended up putting it in because I really wasn't sure.
I don't know if it's set in summer, but it has those kind of like vibes.
Yeah,
we're here for vibes.
Yeah, there's one. There's a Mindy McGuinness, isn't there, as well? Not a Drop to Drink, isn't that summer?
I haven't read any.
Although I'm not sure it's horror. I think it's like possibly post-apocalyptic. I'm not sure. See,
I feel like in the book club, it seems to be like the genre fiction stuff that people are really enjoying, like the kind of if I've suggested romance and contemporary, I get all these comments that say, "Oh, we don't read that." So it seems to be that the people that have joined it gravitate to the stuff that I read. So I'm kind of, rather than trying to be broad with it, I'm slowly narrowing, and it's just going to end up like a YA vampire fiction book club at some point. Which actually Fictional Hangover do. So if you want to join one of those, you can skip.
Oh, I love Fictional Hangover.
They're so great, aren't they?
No.
Yeah, they're quality. Like they do a vampire book club and they do a great podcast. So if anybody's looking for a good time to do books, you need to. What are their slogans? They say all vampires all the time. And the only cure for a fictional hangover is another vampire book. So if that's unconvinced.
I think Amanda, it's nothing's confirmed yet, but I think she's the reader for the audiobook for Blood on the Wind, but nothing's like set in stone yet. But hopefully that'll be fun.
Fingers crossed for her, that'd be awesome. She has got an absolutely amazing voice. Like I could just listen to her say, some people you could listen to them to read anything.
Yeah.
I'm reading your book. God, that'd be so
That'd be
cool.
fun.
Yeah, I mean, the Teeth and the Mist audiobook is amazing, like the whole production
I
thing
love
to
it.
it. So if they can do
They
that
did
too,
so good. Yeah, they did
brilliant.
so good by me. And
Okay,
Blood on the
that's
Wind
great.
is a vampire book, so
Yay! I'm excited about all of that. Let's go to Sprint and I can have a moment to.
Just a second. Dawn, it is available on Amazon here, so let me know if Mary is by Nat Cassidy. It's still on my cart and it's still available.
mine
So
says I can only get it from other sellers from £30 upwards.
Oh my gosh.
oh, here is
Yeah.
16 euros, which is still quite some money, but
Yeah, I might
for a
have to look on
paperback.
like yeah, I might have to look on Bookfinder or something, see if there's a non-Amazon, which would be better.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so tempting though. Like we tell people as authors, like, you know, think about indie booksellers, but if you want a book tomorrow, like
I know.
You know.
Also, my wish list is on Amazon, which means family members have that wish list, meaning they just go there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the endless struggle of avoid Amazon, but also sometimes you just need it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to Sprint. We'll do another 40 minutes. I have marks. There's lots of comments, but I'll come back to them, and we will chat in another 40 minutes.
Perfecto.
Yeah, I was not ready for that. That last
No,
minute went too
neither.
fast. I checked and I was like, oh, I've got a minute left. I can finish the sentence. And the next thing I know, the cat's like yowling at me. Oh, just like my heart rate. How did you get on, Kasia? Did you have a good sprint?
Yeah, I started the other book that I need to read this month, which is Cry for the Strangers by Joan Saul. And we'll see. It started like with a prologue that is quite disturbing. And then the first chapter also someone died, so it's a good start.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's like a place called Clark Harbor where people are very peculiar, and if there are any strangers that move there, they are treated differently, and they are not really accepted by the community, which mostly are fishermen. And apparently also some families that had kids with special disabilities, when they go there, the kids start to act normal, so most of them just decide to go there and stay. And I don't know, not much more has happened, but from the synopsis of the book, apparently people start dying, and it's only the strangers that start dying. So the strangers are the people that moved in recently. So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. I've read books by Joan Soul before, which were quite disturbing. I read Suffer the Children, which I do not recommend you, Amy.
Okay. The title says it all to me. I think I'm
Well, it
probably
was quite disturbing. Also, animal death, trigger warning. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's gonna get quite intense. So
Is that a
excited.
recent book then, or is that an older one?
No, his books are quite older. I don't know from which year. 1986
Ah, okay.
Oh, not bad for you.
or
I was going to
somewhere.
say,
At least the edition. At least the
the
edition.
So ancient then, yeah, really old.
Yes.
Hey, I'm older, so I can say that. I'm 84 baby, so.
Yeah, you would have been too cool for me at school.
Oh, definitely not. Like never. I was never ever cool. Maybe when I was 17, I got vaguely cool because I started dating Kev, so I was cool by association. But I've only ever had like cool. I don't know. I think I'm cooler now, sort of, than I ever was because I don't care now.
Cool.
Like, is that the thing that
That's
happens in your
deeply
30s? You give less craps about everything.
Yeah. Best way to live.
Place to be. So, how do we get on? I nearly finished where I wanted to get up to tonight, so I'm quite pleased with myself. I'm editing a fun scene. Like we've gone to like from spooky to sexy, so I'm editing a sexy scene. I think it's sexy anyway. It's like one of those steamy, like will they, won't they sort of scenes, and I'm just deciding
the tension.
Deciding how far it's going to go. So you're potentially enjoying yours, Kasia. That's a good start. I'm feeling pleased myself. How are you feeling, Dawn?
Yeah, good. I finished the chapter that I discovered had a second section, but I also just not written.
All right, that's good.
Because it's a chapter with 2 scenes, and both of the scenes had square brackets, so I'm very not pleased with my past self. But yeah, it's finished now. I'm happy with the chapter, and then that's really all I wanted to do tonight, so I'm happy.
Nice. Oh, feels like we're like killing it in our productivity tonight. The magic say. Yeah, I want to finish this scene, and then in the final sprint, I'm hoping if I write for like 10-15 minutes, assuming nobody wakes up, because I did have a little cry for mummy halfway through that one. And then he was talking gibberish, so I think he just dreamed and then decided he needed me. So assuming he doesn't wake up, famous last words, I'm hoping to finish that scene and then read a bit of this. This is the YA Book Club pick. I'm on my second read of it, and it's nice reading. I think thrillers, I often only read them once, so it's nice to kind of be forced to reread one because you can kind of see, like, I remember what the ending is, so I'm seeing all the seeding and stuff that Cynthia did and like the clues and red herrings. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun, so I'm hoping to reward myself with that if I can just finish this scene. So that answers this next question. I'm reading Last One to Die, the YA Book Club June pick. What are you currently reading, Kasia? The 2 books. So you've got, what are they called? I've instantly forgotten. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I always forget the middle grade one. The Mystery of Black Hollow Lane and Cry for the Strangers. These are the 2.
Nice. So middle grade and scary adult. What are you reading at the minute, Dawn? Yeah. Oh yeah, you're reading what's it called? A Little
A
Life?
Little Life, yeah. I'm about 200 pages from the end, although I'm audiobooking it, and then I'm also just about to start House of Hunger by Alexis Henderson.
Yay!
So I think that'll be cool. Have you read that one?
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I think that's
Excellent.
very, very vibes heavy, so I think you'll appreciate that.
Excellent. And it's so beautiful as well. You know, under the cover, there's this gorgeous green cover. It's lovely.
Oh, maybe I need to take mine out. I'm one of those people who reads hardcovers with the sleeve on. You know what? It's because I lose them. The one time I took one off, I lost it immediately.
Oh, dear.
So I really hate
No, I
putting
did not.
like a naked hardback back on my shelf. So I can't take them off because I'm just too chaotic. Like you saw earlier before we came on the stream, I'd got just books all around me and had to find the actual book that I wanted to use for the stream. It's just my life is just pure chaos. We're back to the cat talk. Let's see. 3 Russian blues.
Oh, I love Russian blues.
Mean. So maybe the breed is the thing as well as the Good, Dark and Sick. You two need to read it.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Copies. Excellent. I mean, I've got a copy of this. Han, who is a bookseller at the Drake Bookshop, has a spare copy, so she's going to send me it at some point. So that is the prequel to Legends and Lattes. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Charlie. Oh, cute. I mean, I was going to guess that kids came up with that because that has the sort of childhood genius thing about it. Squash cheese.
Oh, no.
I mean,
oh, no.
Have they been reading Diary of a Wimpy Kid then by any chance? Isn't there some like whole floor cheese extended sequence in that? Like that if you touch the cheese, you are... I haven't read it. A kid at school was trying to explain it to me when I was a teacher, and I was like, I don't understand. But yeah, there's definitely a Wimpy Kid cheese story. Fantasy that we can... Yeah, okay. Fantasy that Caroline and I can get behind. That sounds good. I keep seeing it, and I have this thing where if a book is really hyped, it almost puts me off. I hope to be in the position one day that I'm so hyped to book. I've read a book so hyped that it puts people off. But yeah, I don't know. So yeah, Caroline told me I should read it, so I might bump it up the list. Yeah, it's just really gentle and like and nice. And what? Oh God, what is Viv? What is she? A troll, an ogre?
It's like safe reading, isn't it?
Yeah, she's like, I can't remember what, she's like a fantasy creature of some kind. Yeah, and she goes to set up a coffee shop and it's just really lovely. Like she finds a little character who bakes and she introduces coffee to this town. It's just great. Really, really nice. Yeah. Oh, sorry that you had horrible COVID time, but yes to the good reading. Yeah, I mean... I really was trying not to buy any books at the moment because I haven't got time to read them. And they keep arriving, and I'm like, oh, another book I'm not going to read on the shelf. There's that meme.
Like a competition element, isn't there? Like a competition side to it or something?
Yeah, and it's a bit, is it like a slightly dark, like, the Hunger Games type competition where it's like you could die.
So.
I like you could die competition. Oh, yeah. Okay. Dark Witch Core.
Oh, okay. Sold.
That's what I needed.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Dark Witch Core.
Okay, so Fourth Wing, all vibes, dystopian with dragons. Yeah, same, Caroline. New releases. Is that Mary? Isn't available on Amazon UK?
No, yeah, it's from 2 sellers. The cheapest one is 30 quid.
No. Oh, so annoying. Oh, thank you for joining us, Ashley. It has been. We're doing well. I hope that it kind of passes on to you if you've only got time for a little bit of writing. Let's see if we can get some good stuff squeezed in.
We were just talking about Queen Charlotte.
Yay! Yes, use these sprints however you see fit. I generally watch TV in the last one, but because I'm feeling motivated, I'm hoping that I'm going to keep writing a bit and read a bit. Excellent. Yeah, it's so... when people say my books are easy to read, I always wonder whether I should be offended, but I know what they mean now because this is really easy to read. Like, it doesn't mean it's a simple book. It's like, it's just really kind of effortless to read. Yeah. Like, I don't have to... I don't know. It's just quick and pacey and really well explained. So, those moments where you go, what did they say? And like you go back, it just doesn't have that. It's not halting at all. It's just really flowing.
Yeah.
And I think something about Scholastic Design, I don't know what it is about the fonts, but let's fingers crossed for Anthology Dawn. But their books are just really nice to read as well. Like, some publishers just like the font, you're like, yeah, I can read this really nicely.
Yeah, I'm sensitive to font.
Yeah.
And also paper color.
Yeah, same. Too bright paper, a slightly kind of unusual font, I'd find it really difficult. The Witch's Tree. Excellent. If you're looking for witches, that might be one to look up. Orc, thank you. That was the word I was looking for. I knew troll wasn't correct. I hadn't read it for a while. I'm tired. Oh, sorry if you've missed me saying sorry, Charlie, and hope you have a lovely sleep and feel a bit better. Excellent, Nicole. What are your thoughts? Yes, that's what I think is the crux of it. That's true. Like, making it feel effortless is difficult to achieve. Yeah. Thank you for being. Yeah, I hope I've just kind of had the same sentiment with Charlie. She's probably not here, but let's hope next time I'm sure Charlie always seems so bright and orange and cheerful, doesn't she? So let's hope she feels that way when we see her next again. Right, let's do this. Last sprint. Are you both still okay? Do we need to say bye to anyone at this point? Yay.
I'll probably just do one more though.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Same for me. I always make this one 30 minutes too, because I feel the coherence level going down. Oh no, I've just gone as Pomodoro Kitty and it's offering me colours, like changing the cat colour. I can't cope with that level of decisions. You can change the cat, you can change the background, you can change its eyes.
Oh, that's amazing. You can do it themed next time.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I normally come down because I go up and sort Nathan out, and then I come down and Kev set everything up. So I think he chooses the cat colour each week, the power that he has from doing that. Right, so yeah, let's do for 30 minutes, and then this will be the last sprint. So we will see everyone on the other side. If you can let us know then how you Sorry, I was actually ready there, but then I had an idea that I had to quickly write down because I would forget it. So yeah, just jotted something on my phone. I hope it makes sense later on. So yeah, I managed about 2 minutes of reading. I wrote right up until the last few minutes. I just needed to get that scene done, which I'm quite happy with now. So yeah, so I managed to read a few pages of this one today, like half a chapter of it.
Brilliant.
So yeah, I might read a little bit more, although it's like read a tiny bit more before I go to bed. How about you, Dawn? How did you get on?
I ended up opening up a book that I wrote in, I don't know, 2007 or something, and trying to edit it to see if something's there, and it's just so bad. It's so bad that I think if I were to do it, I couldn't just edit it. I would have to literally delete it all and start again. So that felt too much because I've got 2 things on my plate, 2 big things. So yeah.
I've wondered that. I've got like a few things that will never see the light of day. I know they won't, just not. But there are a few that I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
some are incomplete, some are complete. I've wondered how I'd feel if I read them. There's one in particular where I'm like, oh, it could be something, but yeah, I'm scared. I think it might be terrible.
Yeah, it's weird when you think you had something good. Like this is something I queried years ago, but it's just not up to my current level. It's very, and it was 110,000 words as well. It was very long and very navel gazy. So yeah.
It's nice though to know that you've obviously grown. Imagine if you'd read it and thought, oh, this was bad. Right now, that'd be
oh my gosh, that'd be horrendous.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you did that the right way around, I'm sure. How about you, Kasia? Which book did you end up finishing off with?
Oh, I kept reading Cry for the Strangers. So it's kind of interesting because it has those vibes where there's a small town and people seem to know everybody's businesses. And I absolutely love that. One of my favorite books by Stephen King is Needless Things, because he manages to get the whole town, against each other in a way. And I love that. And there's so many characters, but I love it. And we have people that have moved in recently, and they're being treated like so differently from people that have been living there. There's all this mystery about why and why certain things are happening. So I'm intrigued so far, and I can expect something disturbing, I think, from the author. So the more disturbing, the better for me.
Yeah, same.
The prologue was quite disturbing, and I'm like, oh, is this how we're gonna do it? Because then I'm in. So yeah, I'm excited to see it because there's also kids, and I think at some point, according to the synopsis, one of the kids has visions or nightmares related to the murders or the people that are being hurt or something. So I'm really excited to get to that part as well. Yeah.
Okay. I'm intrigued by this stuff. I'm gonna have to get this.
I want to know how extreme it gets. I need you to give me the full rundown. I always listen to your reviews and I read into them, but is this too much for me or not? And generally the YA middle grade, I don't need to worry, but some YA can be, we've got done with us. Some YA can be really
hard. They have Clown in a Cornfield. I really like Clown in a Cornfield, but it was quite, people say it's very bloody for a YA book.
Yeah, I think that could have been pitched as adult. I would have bought that as, if you told me it was an adult book, I would have been convinced by that, I think.
This whole time I thought it was adult.
All right, yeah. Well, that's the thing, House of Hunger that you're about to read. I don't know if that's middle grade. Not middle grade, definitely not that. I don't know if that's YA or adult. I feel like it might be adult, but I also think, excuse me, a lot of YA readers would read it and be kind of fine. So, yeah, I don't know.
Checking.
Interesting. Let's see who's in the comments. Hello.
Adult. House of Hunger is an adult. But most reviewers call it a YA.
Yeah. Honestly, the amount of times, Mia, who wrote Midnight in Everwood, I feel like that's definitely an adult book, but then reviews pop up on it on my feed and they're like, oh, I love this YA book. I'm like,
I thought it was YA for so long.
Really?
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? I don't know. I think you imagine things as a reader, don't you? Sometimes, I think with YA books, I age the characters up in my mind because I am older. I kind of see them in their 20s, and then it reminds me that they're 14 or something. I'm like, oh, no, that's not Oh, night, Sharon, if we've already missed you, I'm sure we will catch up again soon. Oh, everybody's tired in this one. Excellent. Thank you, Annalise, for coming along. Thanks, Nicole. Oh, a little person's just making noises upstairs, so this might be the perfect time to say goodnight to everyone. Thank you, you two, for coming along. Thank you, everybody in the comments. It's been really fun chatting, and as always, super productive. I'm going to go and investigate the little noises that I just heard. So good night, everyone. We're back on Thursday at 7:30, certainly with Ashlyn and Alex Fawkes, who are two of my kind of regulars, and then hopefully some other people might pop on as well. So night all, night, and thank you, you two, and hopefully
Thanks for having us.
Bye. Night.